count to 3. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
You have found Daniel Donato's Lost Highway.
That lost highway.
Yes.
Howdy, y'all. What is going on? Can I get a yee-haw for the Lost Highway podcast continuing on after a week of being gone out of Nashville, Tennessee? I was in Iowa with the Cosmic Country crew. I shot a shotgun. I went on the Mississippi River. I shot a pistol. I ran in the Iowa cornfields at 6:30 in the morning, listening to the new Tyler Childers record each morning, coming across gray and white herons and Busch light cans that say Busch Latte on them. And at the risk of not trying to offend anybody, but this might offend some people, but like Jeff Bezos said, risk optimization technique is a wise way to go. That's why I started Amazon at the age of 30. I'm going to be as honest as I can because I'll regret not being honest when it comes time for me to die and move on to another dimension in which I don't know what the fuck's going to be going on there. I'll probably at least look back and be like, well, I'm happy I was honest. Even if I did piss a few people off. I love our country. I love being free. I love having the ability to say whatever I want to say. And so there was something about breathing in that Iowa cold air, having been in Tennessee this whole year, and getting a different feel for a different way of operating in time. There's something about America that is just such a beautiful opportunity. And we live in a world of opportunity, and this is a land of opportunity. And the motto for the state of Iowa was Fields of Opportunity. And if you think about it, opportunity and optimism have the same prefix. Shout out to Mr. Chester, AP English, for my entire career in high school. How about this, y'all? Say you go through what you perceive to be 20 mistakes a day, right? Say that's a high amount of mistakes per day. I'm actually going to go ahead on a whim and say 18 to 19 of those mistakes were meant to happen. I think mistakes are actually opportunities of meaning for us to see that are supposed to happen to us in our earthly travels as we venture onward in what we think should be actually happening. So when life says go right and you're trying to go left, you're calling it a mistake. But really what it is an opportunity for you to see something that you might not have been seeing before, and you're just calling it a mistake because you think you're that smart and you think you know what you should be doing and you think you understand and you think you see everything that's going on around you. But odds are you don't. And guess what? That's probably actually a nice thing. It's probably nice to not have to have all the responsibility of knowing 100% of what's going on around you at all time. You should try to stop kidding yourself. Our vision, 70% of it is peripheral. That's insane. Are you kidding me? That's insane. And if we hunt, if we're hunters, which we are, we're also prey, we're going to be using our eyes. We are visual animals. And you're going to tell me that 70% of our vision is peripheral? Well, how do we apply that to an abstract and more meta conversation? We probably only have 30% of our vision that is correct in regards to what we think we should be doing and how we're perceiving our reality around us and the opportunities that are at hand. So next time a mistake happens to you, next time you end up at that red light and you were slamming on your brakes to make it because you were trying to rush through it to try to get to that appointment that you made because you think it should be happening, go ahead and take a second and breathe. Wim Hof technique style. And accept the gratitude that you have the opportunity to apply at any given moment of your existence. And just admit that sometimes life goes in a direction that you don't think it should be, and it actually should be going that way. It's nice. Also, I drank some of those Bud Light sparkling seltzers because I loved the Post Malone commercial. I don't have any tattoos, so I live vicariously through Post Malone. My mom's Jewish. She'd be pissed off if I did, and I love my mom, right? So I'm not gonna get any tattoos for now until I can go to Japan and do the Tabori tattoos. Yeehaw! Y'all stay patient, stay positive, stay persistent, stay cosmic. My next guest today is fellow mid-20s music explorer, artist extraordinaire, Corey Harper. He's much taller than I am and much better looking. His voice is insane, and his guitar playing is beautiful, and his songs are absolutely wild. He just put out a new project called Overcast, which is really stellar and thick with intention and just beautiful music. Corey is a fantastic individual. He's based in Los Angeles, but he's from Portland, Oregon, or he's from Oregon. And his songs kind of exist in that innate sadness that is Oregon, but having LA sensibility and California themes in them, they're also sunny and happy. So it's a really beautiful combination of yin and yang. He's such a thoughtful artist, a fantastic guitar player that exists in a really competitive and new way that is in that post Room for Squares, Damian Rice, Ed Sheeran world of acoustic, chart-topping music. And he's fantastic. This was, I believe, his first podcast, and we talk about many 25-year-old things in life. We talk about staying positive, patient, persistent during the quarantine, how Guitar Hero influenced us to start playing guitar, why John Mayer is the fucking GOAT, and first time I ever said the GOAT. You guys are going to love this one. We talked for, I think, over 2 hours. This was a fantastic conversation. The one and only Mr. Corey Harper.
Hold on, my girlfriend's calling me really quick. Let me
Oh, that's all good.
You tell her I'm recording. Hold on. Hey, I'm recording the podcast right now. No, you're good. All right, bye.
Oh, that's great, dude. I kind of miss sometimes having a girlfriend in the fact of them calling when I'm doing things. No one calls me when I'm doing anything.
Dude.
It's like,
Dang.
it's all good though. How long have you had your girlfriend?
I love that. We've been together for like 2 years.
That's a long time. That's a long time for a young man such as yourself and myself.
Yeah. How old are you, by the way?
25.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, see, that's insane, dude. You have like the facial hair. I have no facial hair. That's
No, I don't, dude. I wish I did, man. I wish. This is after like weeks of growing it, dude. This is all quarantine right now.
Dude, I tried it, man. I tried doing that that quarantine look where it was like just like chilling, not exercising,
Right.
not shaving. It's just not me.
I think everyone is in the same boat, man. Don't worry. Except I've done most of my exercising during this quarantine. Like it got to a point to where I was like, I'm gonna need to start, or things are gonna go to shit, you know?
Are you doing like calisthenics? Or are you going to a gym? Going to a gym freaks me out. Seriously.
Taibo mostly. No, I'm just.
That'd be hilarious.
You remember that, like the 80s, like 90s, like kickboxing videos, the VHS tapes? Yeah.
Yes.
I've just been going. I just run and.
I love running. I love running so much.
Yeah, I sometimes I've fallen out of liking it, but I've recently just gotten into it because I used to hate it, and now I'm just like, I think it supports my lifestyle of like drinking most days and being like sitting in a studio making music, not really making much exercise other than surfing and all that other stuff. And
dude, surfing is supremely great exercise for the upper body. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy. Like it's so weird because so many of my friends who are really fit, like we're like, oh, I want to try surfing, and I'll take them and they'll go and be like, oh my God, like that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Yeah.
The only way to really get those muscles are to do it. It's crazy.
I find most things in life are that way. You have to get the muscle.
It's true, man. It's the same with anything. Playing an instrument, you got to just do it all the time.
Whoa.
And when you don't do it, like for a while, you have to just pick it back up again.
Have you done anything different in this time? Like I hear people like, which I find fascinating because like this isn't me really, but like I hear people are like, well, hey, I started learning French. I learned how to like, do sound design and like all these. These are just friends of mine, and it's like I kind of like stuck to my guns like during this time.
Yeah.
Just like honed in on things I was already doing, like writing, playing guitar. I didn't like pick up like violin or something like that. So I was wondering like, what has been inspiring you? What have you been doing?
Yeah, dude. So that's a great question. It's so funny. I was just writing. Me and my friend were writing letters to each other. That's something that I've been doing. He lives in London, so we've been like I never write. I used to write letters all the time to like my brother when he was living out in Northern California, and or just wherever he is because he's always traveling some places. But we've been writing back and forth with each other, and I just wrote him a letter yesterday and talking about like recapping during this quarantine, because it's like I feel like we're almost on the fringe of being out of it, and then like I mean, depending on where you live in the United States, like LA, we're like still kind of fucked. Like,
so you guys went back to phase 2, right? Or was it?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're like everything just closed yesterday. Like it all closed up, but
Same here. Things closed.
Are you in Nashville?
I'm in Nashville, a little south of Nashville. Things closed, like literally they were kicking people out that were eating their meals.
Yeah, wow. They're like, we're starting now. Get up.
Super crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so I was doing some writing yesterday, and I was just like thinking about all the stuff I've been doing. Like you said, like I haven't really picked anything else up other than like I just have so much more attention on what I do on a daily basis all the time. You know, you have so much more attention on that. And I mean, there's little things like, you know, we had to there's a pool guy that like we inherited with this it's such a weird saying. We inherited a pool guy, you know, when you like aren't
he came with the place.
Yeah, right. It's so funny. Like, yeah, we inherited him.
How does that work? Wait, I don't get how that happens.
My landlord, like we rent the property from a landlord. We don't own the home. We just are renters. So like every, you know, obviously I guess anyone who works on the property comes with it. So we had to let him go. And so now I've just had to, for really like serious reasons too. He was like super weird and like had some crazy shit went on. Like started like, he just started getting really, it was a whole ordeal. This is like kicked off the quarantine, dude. Like started like threatening me and like my girlfriend and like my landlord, all this crazy stuff. Like,
why? What was wrong? What the fuck? What did I stop?
He would, is that Palo Santo? Oh, dude, you got the ultimate mood in there. I ran out of mine. I wish I had some.
Amazon coming in clutch. Amazon scares me.
Oh, really? I never really thought about doing it that way.
Dude, you probably, I bet your pool guy has some Palo Santo that Jeff Bezos just dropped off Prime. That I just said.
Yeah, truckload. Yeah. That's why I lost my dealer. Yeah, he started like saying so like, oh, you owe me like so much more money than we really did. He would send us texts like in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. And he's like,
was he like doing cocaine? Was he like a cocaine pool guy?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's just like a staple of pool. I don't want to stereotype and like, you know, generalize. I don't want to generalize here, but you know, pool boys, I guess pool guys, you know, there always is a stereotype that comes with either if it's just the chemicals that they're breathing in all day that I am now doing.
That's so funny. That's so sad. Right. Your job can make you die in that way. That's really sad. Surely you'd wear a mask.
Or just like be like an asshole to other people. But anyways, we were like, all right, dude, like this is getting out of hand, whatever. It's like, and we're tenants. Like we don't really deal with that. It's our landlord that does it. But my landlord's an amazing musician as well. He actually plays bass in Queens of the Stone Age, and he has a band called Mini Mansions.
Oh,
you might know Michael.
Absolutely, I don't know him personally, but it's like cool. I love that. I love musicians that
it's hilarious.
Make money elsewhere outside of music. That like, there's so many stereotypes where people are like, "Well, you're gonna be a musician, huh?" It's like, well, all you really need to do is find some capital, find some success, and you can invest just like anyone else.
Absolutely, yeah,
absolutely. Good for him. Is he cool?
Oh, he's the greatest, dude. I mean, he lets me use the studio. Like this is it came with the house, so.
Damn.
I just got a lot of cool stuff in here. I can't really move my computer around because it's closed. But anyways, back to the whole question, which is a great question you asked. Yeah, I don't know. I think more just learning. Like I said, the whole reason I brought up the pool is because I've learned how to now take care of it by myself. It's just like my own pool boy in the backyard. That and regrowing grass and doing just like domesticated stuff that like I've never really thought about doing until I've had all this time. But I don't know. I feel like I think everyone's in the same boat as whereas like it's like I hope we don't go back to the same world that we lived in pre-quarantine because like obviously 2020 has been such a ride, you know, and so we've realized a lot of things that need to change, and probably a lot of people have had. Well, I know for a fact everyone has had like an opportunity to like look really deep at like your inner self and just kind of sit with like your feelings of like what's going on in the world. And like, I'm really, I'm actually like, it's a kind of a blessing in disguise. Like this whole thing is like, even through a lot of, terrible things that have happened, people having this virus, and then, everything with George Floyd and the racial injustice uprising and protests and everything that's going on, like everyone is now having this like reality check, and it's like really important. And I think it's important to everyone as an artist. It's important to everyone as just a human being on this earth, whatever you believe in, and it's like, I think it's going to push people in the right direction as far as just making stuff that's going to inspire other people to start listening, which is really interesting. And it's a good time for artists too, like not just musicians, any form, any art form that people practice or you're disciplined with, to make some sort of, this is like such an interesting time. This is like history that we're living through. The pandemic, you have the pandemic history, then we have like the civil rights movement, another civil rights movement, like all this stuff. And it's just like, it's really, it's crazy that we get to live through that. It's weird. It's not like a privilege to live through it. It's just something.
I think it is though.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is.
What are your thoughts on that? Like,
my God, man. So what's really funny is to hear, which I think it's an urgently truthful realization.
Yeah.
The concept of knowing yourself and questioning your beliefs that you were probably just told to believe. And also like you're talking about getting to know yourself more. Some people might call that spirituality. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
And it's like, I think that's like the fact that word doesn't have like any top shelf,
yeah, people always tie it to religion too, especially like spirituality. Like it's such a like just its own thing.
Why, yeah. Like I look at spirituality and religion as two separate sides of the zoo, man. Like that is
absolutely
110%. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like that was something that this time forced me to do. My dad and I ended up getting like this ridiculous. So I live in a small 900 square foot house behind my parents. My girlfriend and I we had a house together for years, and then we broke up, and then I stayed at that house for about a year, but it felt like some ghosts were living there. It just felt gross, and I was uninspired.
Wow. Yeah, dude.
Here, and then quarantine happened. And so it was like unbelievably perfect timing. But my dad and I.
So this is the house behind your parents' house?
The house behind my parents. We're a little south of town. So we're like 15 minutes south from like Metro Nashville. So we're still in a great area.
Yeah. Cool.
And like when I saw you play, I think it was like the High Watt. I think it was a High Watt.
Yep.
Or it was something. I'm like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
The High Watt, for sure.
That was a great show.
I played there twice. I know, dude. I was there with I just got to meet you so briefly, and I felt so bad because it was just like, I mean, you know how that shit goes, like at shows.
Of course.
Afterwards, you're just like, oh man, like all these people you want to say hi to. But I was so thrilled that you came, man. That was amazing to see you. I was opening for Noah Kahan, I think, at the High.
Noah Kahan, dude. I love Noah Kahan's writing. I love his voice and everything.
Yeah, he's the greatest, man. He's like, we are really, really close friends as well as just we met through music, and the first time he came and moved to Los Angeles to record, and even before the music out, we lived together for like a couple weeks in a house in Venice Beach. But yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. He's the greatest guy. We've just been, like buddies like all through quarantine, like doing live streams together and playing FIFA every day, and just talking. We're kind of just going through it together, and it's been really cool to see like he like wrote and like recorded it and put out an EP like all during this quarantine. I was just like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Did he record it himself, or did he go to a studio?
Yeah, he lives in like the outskirts of Vermont, like almost even maybe even near New Hampshire, and he recorded it with a friend of his, and they all just like did it really quick, and then I released our projects came out about like within a week of each other, really.
What you dropped, I literally love it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, dude.
Were you sitting on that material for a second, or was it like recorded and tracked during this time?
I recorded it in December.
Yeah.
I had been, I have been for a while. I mean, I do what we're in July now. Yeah.
Isn't that freaky? Isn't that scary? Like that's July's scary. Like I'm scared. I look at my phone and I'm scared.
I know. Yesterday I was like on the sign after signing the letter. I was like June something, and I was like, oh, I had to cross it out to July. I was like, and I rate this like side note, like that's how you know we've been in this thing for way too long.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I went home to. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I grew up there most of my life. I was born in Missouri, St. Louis. Lived there for a little bit, and then moved. So yeah, Midwest.
Dude, Midwest life is real.
Midwest life, dude. I guess Tennessee is like Midwest South, kind of. It's kind of.
It depends who you're talking to. Like if you ask my friend Nick, who plays in the gospel country band, he's from Iowa, and I wonder what he would have to say because like Iowa is the Midwest.
It's like the heart. Yeah, Iowa's like it's that state that no one really like. You say like, what's the name of town in Iowa? They're like.
Say Bush Light. They're just like okay.
yeah, exactly. I went back to Portland and I recorded it with a friend of mine that I had been working on. I'd worked on for like the last single off the EP or off the last EP, barely put together. And he was from Portland, and we just like met through just a friend of mine, and we started making music together. And then I was like, I just had all these ideas for song. I mean, actually I didn't have the ideas yet, but I just knew that I wanted to go record another EP. It was like last September. And I was just like, I hadn't done anything in a long time. Like it'd been a while since I just released that EP. So like, you know, I just got off a tour, and I was like sitting with myself after touring for a while, just like being like, I'm not inspired at all right now. I don't really.
When you're not inspired, does it bug you? Like, do you?
Oh my God. That's when I just start like looking up pool maintenance YouTube videos, dude. I just dive into So I don't know. I mean, if you're like this as well, or I mean, I know a lot of musicians are like this, but like I am so obsessed with so many different things. I mean, outside of music. Oh man. I have so many, you know, there's so many things that I'm interested in. And when I get interested in something, like I throw myself into that like 100%. And that's like, I'll do that for like 2 weeks. Like I'll, you know, learning language. Like I love learning languages. Like I've been learning German since like last year. And I like remember just like for 2 months, that's all I did. Like every day is just like, you know, study that language after, I toured there for a little bit and loved it so much. And I wanted to go back. So I went back. The best fans ever. The best audiences. Oh so, my God, yeah. You know, from that to like, then, you know, looking up pool maintenance, pool videos, searching that, you know, I don't know, riding dirt bikes, like whatever it is that I'm into, surfing, like doing that for like a week straight. Like I get like super hyper focused, and I have such bad ADHD when it comes to like what I can't like do all those things at one time. I have to just split them up. Oh, wow. And it's so weird, but that's nice though. That's really cool. So man, I'm just now getting to the point to where it's like I'm just a different animal in that way, where it's like if I'm not inspired by music, I unfortunately I stick on music. Yeah. And I won't go like get a bonsai tree or like figure out something different. Like I should though. It's like I'm trying to. I literally ordered a bonsai tree this morning. Really? From Amazon. Dude, I remember. I think we had to throw ours out like a couple weeks ago. So what was your experience? I was holding on, dude. I was like, no, we're gonna get it back. I'm gonna get it back. Why did God? Is it just not? The seed's not there. It's dead. It was just like we forgot to water it. Like you forget like one day, and then it's just it's toast. Thank God we don't have kids. I know, right? Thank God. I just realized I'm so irresponsible. My parents were like, Can you imagine? Like, I know. No. Right. I know. I remember. I think of like having kids, and I'm like, it must be so hard. And then I think of my parents, and I'm like, my God, they're heroes. They're heroes. They really are. Yeah. I was just in this uninspired time, and I went back. I told my friend, hey, we should get in the studio and we should just not even think about doing anything other than just until I land there, and we'll just get in the studio and we'll just make everything from scratch. I'm not going to take any other songs I've written. And my experience with most of the music I put out prior to this EP was writing sessions and working on piecing together songs I'd done with different people in Los Angeles.
Who were some of the writers you were writing with in LA?
Oh, I mean, I'm trying to think of some people you'd know. I most of the time I really was writing.
Or are they just homies that have yet to like? Are you writing with like Amar Malik? Are you writing with?
No,
with Andrew Watt? Are you writing with like? With the,
oh, that's so funny. It's funny because the guy I produced this EP with, Amar, I know Amar pretty well, and my buddy who produced this EP, Dave, they're like writing partners and producing.
Okay.
They do things together. But oh man, I would love to write with Amar someday. That'd be amazing.
Dude, he's a genius.
And I haven't written with Andrew actually, but I know him very well. But Andrew Wells is who I mostly wrote a lot of stuff with. I
love Andrew. Dude, Andrew Wells and I had dude, I brought some songs to Andrew Wells at one point.
Oh, really?
They were just not there. And he was like,
really?
He was the nicest guy about it.
Oh, dude, yeah. He's
such a classy dude.
Oh, he's the greatest. He's the most honest. He's the most honest guy I think I've ever met in the industry for sure. And that's why I love working with him.
He strikes me as this kind of a guy where it was like, he's so chill, but he strikes me as this guy where he says like, I'm going to do this thing. And then like I talked to him like a year later and he's doing it. Yeah. And it's like, it's really inspiring to see dudes who can just set forth a plan and just go and execute.
Yeah. He's an amazing, he's just so determined. He's the opposite of like the kind of person I am, like my personality of like splitting up my attention span of like all different things. He's just like so focused on this.
Yeah.
And, he was like my EP, my first EP I put out was like one of his first projects he ever did as a producer. So we did that together and wrote it together.
Wow.
I also worked and wrote with a friend of mine. His name's John Joseph. He's an amazing bass player, producer who now is producing tons of bands and does a lot of like, he's very, very amazing producer. He's very big in like a lot of the indie rock scene here in LA. Produces some fucking awesome bands I really love. And the studio is amazing. Let's see. JT Roach. Do you know JT Roach?
I don't know JT Roach.
I feel like he's like in and out of Nashville a little bit. Donovan Woods, actually.
Dude, Donovan, come on.
Yeah, Donovan's one of my favorite writers of all time. And it's so funny how we even got to know each other. I met his manager, I think when I was at a Noah Kahan show doing like touring. And my manager, they kind of just hit it off as friends and they started hanging out and they put us together. But I've been a long time, like he and Donovan inspired my songwriting from when I was like, 18, 19, listening to his music like all the time. And then they were like, hey, do you want to write with Donovan? And Noah Kahan kind of gave me the intro to Todd Clark, who produces a lot of Donovan stuff. He's a Nashville guy as well. And he was like, oh, you want to go write a song with, like, they want to write with you. I was like, really? And
wow.
So that was like the most overwhelming writing day ever. Just like going and having to like have something ready to write with Donovan. I was like, oh, I'm so nervous because this guy's just such a legend in my eyes. And then we got to meet him and I flew to Nashville. I stayed at Noah's house while he was touring. And he had just like was in the process of moving out. So there was like just a fridge in his apartment. And that was it. Like a fridge and a couch. And there's no bed, like no furniture. It was just like a fridge with a 30 rack of Busch Light and a couch. And it was like, where Martin's Barbecue, it's not the main one in the city. It's like the
East Side one.
East Side. Yeah. East Side Martin's Barbecue next to the church, across from the church, that big church.
Yeah. That church has since burned down. Since burned down. Yeah, and every other building around it from the tornadoes that happened this year. Because Nashville's had tornadoes this awesome year.
Right. Yeah, awesome year, right? That was like right before. No, that was like I can't even. My timeline, dude, is so messed up.
Twice, brother. It was 2 weeks before quarantine. 23 people died, something like that, and then back in April it happened again. Some people's power is out for like 5 days. Yeah,
how is what is the state of Nashville since then? I mean,
very strange.
Like very strange because it's like you have that happen and then it's like, oh, we can't really do damage control because everyone needs to stay inside their homes.
And it's also at least in my circles, like in terms of how people generate income and how they generate inspiration through playing shows and tracking music.
Yeah.
it seems like out in LA, like the vibe of like doing the home studio thing and that being like an actual project is like pretty norm. But in Nashville, it like generally isn't. Like you hear like outlier records, like I'm sure you vibe with like that Maren Morris record, Hero, like the first one that you put out.
Oh,
like,
I love it. I love it so much.
Aaron Sterling on drums.
Oh, dude, the best. He's one of my favorite. I actually use an Aaron Sterling sample on Overcast, on Fade to Black. The song Fade to Black that's in my EP was the last like the guitar solo and the drums over that guitar solo is like I think it's I'm 90% sure that we used his. Actually, I'm 100% sure that we did that.
You're gonna want a royalty now.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
We'll get the full eye on that one.
I think the part of his, I don't even know how that works, because I think it's.
No, if you buy the packs, usually they're going to have to be royalty free, especially if you're buying it from that sound or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to have him on one of my tracks, though. He's like,
you will. You absolutely. I'm surprised you haven't already.
Yeah, because him and John Joseph are tight too. But
no.
I ran into him at a coffee shop here in LA once, and I was just like, I just geeked out. I was just like, dude, you like are the best. This is so weird. And he's like, oh yeah, he's such a nice guy, like so intentionally, like just a good guy. And he's just like, he's so hilarious on Instagram. I love following him. He's super funny.
I met him one time.
Yeah.
At a coffee shop, Sam and Zoe's.
Dude, he's just always in coffee shops.
He's not even ever playing drums. It's just.
Hey, guys, for all musicians, if you want Aaron Sterling on your record, just hit a coffee shop.
I was like, man, I'm a huge fan. You're working with some producers that I work with. I've been on the same sessions, and he's like, oh yeah, nice to meet you, Daniel. And
yeah. Oh, dude.
And he was like, great guitar player, funny voice.
Oh my God, that's so, dude. It's just.
I love that. It's like the best thing anyone's ever said to me.
Great impression.
I love when people's like sense of humor like is kind of invasive and like kind of challenges you. It's like that they're just like that's just who they are.
Yeah, dude, it's the greatest. It's the greatest.
Yeah, but Nashville's strange, dude, because all the studios where people are tracking are straight up, especially as of yesterday, fucking closed.
Yeah.
They do not come here. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Electricity at all. So is that the vibe in LA at all?
Where like with what?
Is East West open? You know what I mean? Like things like that. Like, are people even tracking?
I have no idea. I'm so removed from that world. Like I feel like
wow.
I was kind of talking about this when we started talking about writers and everything. But
yeah.
I like this EP that I did. I completely wrote just me and my friend Dave. It was just me and him the whole time. So, and we both, I co-produced it as well. It was the first time I co-produced anything. So for the last year, I've only written on my own. And I think the reason that this EP has been one of my favorites so far and the most cohesive is because I got to go back to where I was from, in Oregon, and kind of just sit with myself for a while and really let these songs come out naturally, instead of going into a room and having to have this ego and, meeting other people. Not that that's a bad thing, because it's meeting other songwriters, you have to kind of be prepared to kind of put your best thing out there, and doing the speed dating thing of in LA. I did that for so long, for 3 years, the songwriter speed dating thing, where you just I'm oh, book me for these sessions, book me with these writers, whoever wants to write, let's do it. Go to a session and you're you have to tell them who you are in 5 minutes.
No, I know.
And then write a song that's about your deeply deep feelings about something that's super personal. You're oh yeah, cool, man. All right, cool. Nice to meet you. Yeah, cool. All right, what's your name? All right, cool. I'm Corey. Yeah, man. All right, this song I'm gonna write about the most depressed I've ever been in my life. And it's how do you bridge that gap between getting there, that familiarity with that person, getting them there, and convincing them of that's what you really feel. But anyways, it's hard when all the songs that I've put on EPs from the past, except for the one I did with Andrew, because I did that with him exclusively. But there was this all this middle ground that got covered between this EP and the one I did with Andrew, my first EP, my debut EP, On the Run, of just where I was finding how to find my own voice in songwriting and in music, and just like in general in life, like knowing what I like, knowing what I don't like, finding out. And I think that's the most important part. Like people always ask, what's the best advice you can have as a songwriter, as a musician, is just like going out and like being open to knowing that you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to, you know, you're going to write the wrong song. You're going to write with the wrong people. You're going to, you know, do these things that you're going to learn that you don't need to do anymore. And, or maybe not to do anymore, but just like at the time, you're going to figure out like your own style and figure out what it is that makes you your own unique songwriter. So, yeah, it was just like a lot of, for like 2.5, 3 years, I was just figuring it out. And you can kind of hear it in the music too, because it's like kind of all over the place. Although I pride myself on, you know, I strive for being my music having diversity and not just having a sound. Like I hate like when people are like, oh, like what's your sound, or what's your like what genre of music do you play? Which is like, given a lot of people who ask you that are not like musicians themselves, and you know, it's really easy for someone to say, oh, like what kind of music do you play? Who does not a musician? You can say, oh, I play indie rock, and they're like, oh, okay, cool, you know. But it's like I play so many different kinds.
You do, and that's the thing, man. Your music, it like has That's why I literally, the first time I heard Marshall Vore.
Oh yeah. Early days. He was the first person I ever worked with as well, and I write with him as well. And yeah, dude, Marshall's one of my favorite people like in the world.
I couldn't like wrap my mind on how to like classify the music, because it sounds like LA, it sounds like Portland, but it also has like a nationwide like salient, clean popness to it. Which I'm just assuming like that is just who you are as a person that's coming through your craft. I'm wondering how much of that is cognizant in the creation process. Right.
I think it's a collection of just things that someone who was saying this, I heard someone say it, something like this the other day, but like your music is always going to come through it's never going to come through into you how you want it to sound. Like if I hear a song by the 1975 and I'm like, oh, I really want to like make music like that. Like it's hard to, without totally being derivative of like that, to turn your own style into being like sounding like that and having the characteristics of that kind of music. But it's failing at doing that is what makes it your own thing. And I think that's, as far as like, that's how I learned to play guitar, like copying, playing John Mayer licks like for 5 years in my bedroom over and over and over and over and over again, and singing like him over and over and over again. Me failing at doing that turned into like finally having the structure to be able to improvise. And that's where I found my own style, is like after I've built up all the, the base of playing guitar and the base of singing and all that practice through doing it over and over again. That moment is when you can finally improvise and stop ripping off that music, is where you develop your own thing, And I'm curious, like, what your journey as a guitar player and now making, recording your own music, and what does your, journey look like as a guitar player? Because like I was a guitar player first, and then I wanted to write music and write songs. So what's your thing been like? What was like first for you? Just playing guitar, obviously, because you're just an incredible guitar player.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
Yeah,
likewise.
I love
likewise.
So much. Thanks.
Oh, likewise, man. Sincerely.
I fake it, dude. I fake it. You're a real one.
I guess, man. It all started for me where it was like, I started on Guitar Hero. I was really bad at skateboarding.
I love that.
My friends were so good at skateboarding, and I really I loved wearing like etnies and Element and stuff.
Yep,
and
dude.
Like,
Any Osiris's, the D3s.
I really had a pair of
ass shoes. Yeah, that's amazing.
And then like the front right side would be all fucked up because I was trying to learn how to ollie and slide on up. Mm-hmm. I could never do that though. Like I still do that in my life. Like I still try to not skateboard. I try to skateboard at things like where guitar was like the thing in my life where I picked it up from Guitar Hero, and I was kind of naturally efficient at it. Like I just learned faster, and I loved being bad at it because I was able to come up with like next steps on how to build it and get better.
That's
and
cool.
still to this day, like I have things that I still feel like that side of me is still present, that part of my identity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the guitar is like a time travel device in that way. But it was just like that for me, man. Like it was like getting into the music that was on Guitar Hero, like specifically like Paradise City by Guns N' Roses. And I heard that song, it changed my life. And it gave me a vision to be
Are you fucking with me right now? You're totally fucking with me.
I am dead serious.
No, you're not.
I'm being
You're doing one of those interviews on me that you do at the crowd when you go into at NAMM or whatever.
Dude, I love doing those. Those are so fun. Well, I love like being the person who's like, hey, we shouldn't take ourselves so seriously.
Dude, I totally like, I just do not believe this story at all. But if this is true, that's like one of the most amazing stories of all time, of like developing guitar playing.
Isn't that so funny? No, it really was. It really was.
Amazing.
I wish I could make that up. I wish I was funny enough to make that up.
So how old? No, I mean, dude, that's fucking amazing.
It's funny though. It
so
is.
Cool.
I'm cool with it being a sign of the times too. Like I like the idea of like me being inspired by technology, and you know something that a lot of people would normally shit on. It's like, well, no, it actually comes down to like the person and what they're going to do with their inspiration. It's like
I love Guitar Hero, dude. It's so.
Do you really?
No,
Have you tried VR? Have you tried PlayStation VR or like Oculus?
Dude, I can't. I get so
It freaks me out.
sick. Like I get dizzy. I can't do the VR thing right now. I don't know.
Maybe the cool guy. Maybe the cool guy's great at VR. Maybe.
Oh, probably, dude. Yeah, probably just sees VR in his head without even needing it. But wait, so that's so interesting. So how did you transition from like being what is this, like 2007?
Yeah, great job.
Yeah.
2007.
Oh, I know my Guitar Hero release days.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero 1, Guitar Hero 2, Guitar Hero 2, or no, Guitar Hero 3 is when I really dove in. Like I was like staying home from school, like faking being sick because I was so obsessed with the game.
No, same here.
Seriously, I would literally tell my mom I'm too sick to go to school because I had to get that note streak.
See, the note streak was elusive. It was hard to get.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like I get note streak live though. I get note streaks live now. I think
Really?
I get the same way.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, dude, you're the note streak king. You're just there's just so many.
It's ridiculous. Well, it's indicative of who I am as a person. Like,
right.
And that's why I kind of love podcasting because to me it's the same thing as a jam band.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite kind of music to play. It's like it's improvised. Like this is us jamming.
Yeah, dude, I love that. That's so cool you say that. Like I get so anxious about doing Instagram lives and even like so funny because this is our first time really having a conversation more than a couple minutes at the highlight.
Literally feels like the 30th conversation we've had.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah, that's cool, dude. Like that's such an interesting way of saying it because I've never even I think this might be my first, maybe my like second or third podcast.
I'm so honored, dude. I'm just like I try to talk to people I genuinely am a fan of, and I just love your art and I love your content and I just love your vibe as a person. So I'm so glad that you can.
It goes both ways, man. Likewise. I wish I was as crafty and as interesting online as you are. Like I love the videos you make of you playing guitar with the random backgrounds. So can you like explain how you're doing that?
It's kind of hard to see, right? But so
you have the green screen, obviously.
So we can see this is like my this is like newer place I'm living in. So we actually installed it. There's lights in the ceiling.
Okay.
I invested some money, and we just ended up building a space that works, and so it's great, man. So we just roll down the green screen if you want to do those kinds of things. You have the
guitar tracking, like the finger tracking thing. That's so
key framing. That's all my father. Okay. It's all my father, man. So my dad played guitar up until when I played guitar, and when I started getting really serious at guitar, he took all of his energy that he would normally put into playing, and it went into supporting my development. And so right after Guitar Hero, we my dad's like, you should try making some money at guitar. Try making it an entrepreneurial endeavor. The idea of making money through music. And so I went and started busking on the street, and he drove me. And then he was like, well, once I started getting some gigs, he took photos. And then hey, what's this Instagram thing? You're posting videos on there, but why don't we get a DSLR camera and I'll take some video of you doing it? It's like I'll learn how to edit in Lightroom.
Just monetize, dude. Just got to monetize the creation,
Yeah, I think it's.
Or
I
your
guess it's funny that it started off in the idea of wanting to monetize, but it's genuinely like my dad's like my straight up just my partner in anything creative. He doesn't produce. He's not going to get like album credits on. He's not like a producer or anything on my records. But,
Yeah.
anything I do that's on
No
mine,
royalties,
usually
no
he
royalties.
touches. No father royalties. No mechanical. They're called paternal and maternal mechanical royalties. Spotify just got rid of.
Yeah. I love that. It's like it's weaved into the algorithm somehow.
What's the mom and dad rating on this playlist?
That's amazing, dude. That's such a cool story. Like, what an amazing dad to be so supportive.
Dude, he's my hero. But during this quarantine, we got into some serious fights. Like, the worst fights we've ever gotten.
Oh, you have. I mean, you're probably, you're not the first person. You're not the only one. I promise you that.
I am close, man. I think everyone's having shit with their parents during this time.
Their parents, their girlfriends, their boyfriends, their dogs.
People got both. Yeah,
dude.
Can you imagine having a girlfriend and a boyfriend during this time? That'd be fucking hard with all the masks.
Dude, open relationships. I can't imagine.
I don't think those work.
I think it's probably, I don't know. It's probably subjective, as if depending on the person.
That's very open-minded. Yeah.
I think it just depends on what you characterize as how you love somebody.
Well, that's a deep thing, and surely that transfers from person to person.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I as well, for one, can say I think those things are so subjective, and I can say, for me, that is like the furthest thing in my mind that would ever work for me as a person.
That's fine.
I have open relationships with guitars though.
Oh, wow! I've never thought of it that way.
Have a guitar, you get really attached to it, and then go to something else. Dude, we need some guitar content, dude.
We gotta have some.
Or people they're gonna be like, why are we like we're talking about like open relationships now? Like,
no, it's like talking about open tunings, not open relationships.
Open tuning with Daniel Donato and Corey Harper. I love that. What's your favorite guitar right now? I mean, you got
right now. I got a lot. I love this right now. It's a PRS.
PRS, yes.
Special 22.
Okay, cool.
It's a great. I mean, Fenders are like my favorite actual, like forever, like my favorite guitars, like Telecaster. Yeah. But like the de jour, this is like it's just like a Tesla.
So I've never dived into the PRS stuff, man.
I'll put you in touch with Rich Hannon, who's A&R at PRS. He's been with Paul since the beginning. Like he's a legitimately inspiring character to talk to.
Yeah, I'm sure you know all the guys, dude. That's crazy.
I'll put you in touch with him, man. You got to get in on one of these guitars. Or
I would love to, dude. If there's a Silver Sky laying around anywhere, like.
That was, they hit me up about doing the Silver Sky. I'm like, listen, everyone who is my age loves John Mayer. Like, I don't need to play a guitar that says I love John Mayer.
I know, right?
Everyone loves John Mayer. You can't not love him.
So you're a John Mayer fan then?
I'm an immense John Mayer fan. I think John Mayer is like the Michael Jordan of guitar for our generation, without question.
Yeah, dude. I 100% agree. I feel like he's bridged the gap to so much music that I was even first inspired by before I even knew about him. And like my dad grew me up on like 60s, 70s music, the James Taylor, Jackson Brown thing. Stevie Ray was like one of the biggest obviously influences in my life as a guitar player, wanting to play like him, and then being like, oh, John Mayer is literally like the same thing except he writes pop music, like vocally, his blues guitar playing, everything. Wow. And he was able to I feel like John made a bridge to all that music where like a lot of that music got lost within more popular music that started coming out. But it's like he's on making all this pop music, and then you see him play guitar and see him do all these things like that's like all nuanced in his way, but also has like characteristics of B.B. King and Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray and just like all these just shredders back then and people that invented that thing. It all comes from that music.
He is just the dude, right? In that way where it's like you can hear what he heard. And then you can hear I put it in his music. It's like
right. Absolutely. It's one of those things of just like I so believe that like if you want to be great at something, you just find something you want to copy and just copy it and just like rip it off to the best of your ability until you're able to like improvise and make it your own. Like literally so much of like all of, if you listen to like battle studies, I think like you just hear so much Clapton in that record, and like and Continuum. Oh yeah, Jeff Beck as well for sure with the, oh my god, yeah, on
Heartbreak Warfare.
Yeah, Heartbreak Warfare.
Yeah.
The weird, that thing is so cool. I remember like when I first learned that lick, and also like one of the great exercises that I do now when I like, I mean, I say that I'm doing that now, but I haven't played guitar in so long.
Oh really? Oh whoa! Come on.
I mean, I play every day. I don't play. I don't like play as much as I used to. Like really trying to, you know.
I feel guilty about that sometimes.
You know what I mean? It gives me so much anxiety. But
I think we got different goals now. We have different understandings of what reality is and what's possible. I think it's when you're young, you think that it's all on the guitar.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is that as you get older. I think you realize it's more encompassing of the entire self, and listening,
absolutely,
writing, discovering your voice as a whole is the thing.
And realizing that those times where you spent away from it are really important as well. Not just like having to like burn yourself out on something, but
you gotta clean the pool.
You gotta clean the pool, dude. It needs cleaning, especially for the 4th of July, dude.
You guys do Busch Light for the 4th of July, or do you do different beer?
Yeah, it just might now. Now that you inspire, because you can't be drinking IPAs. That's just
no. I hate IPAs, man. But I also think that's why I don't grow facial hair. I think the same reason why I don't like IPAs is the same reason.
I'm from Portland, dude. Like you go to Portland, there's like if you drink Coors Light or anything that's not like 9% alcohol, they're like stroking their beer.
9%.
They're like that's only 4%. No, it's just like Portland. There's just so many like, which I love about Portland is like so many microbreweries and all these crazy. They're like it's the tangerine, wheat, citrus, ale, dark caramel, brown, stormy, Ben Deschutes, whatever. Just we just like, oh, it's like this is nutty. Like, I'm like, what? Like, dude, just drink it, man. I'm like so. I have moods like I'm like, oh yeah, I love this IPA. That's really. It's like such a like the musician thing. Like when you're testing a guitar, you're like, oh, that's warm. Like, you know what I mean? When someone plays a guitar, they're like, that tone, it's so warm. You're like, all right, dude. Like, can we get rid of that word? Like, can we say something else?
Well, it's like, what is that word? Like, that word means nothing. Like, bright? What does bright mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Just say it sounds good. Oh, but what I was saying for the guitar thing.
Yeah, totally.
I'll show you is that the Edge of Desire lick.
Oh, genius! He wrote that at Chateau Marmont, did he not?
Dude, now you're really uncovering. You're uncovering your mayor.
Oh, dude, I mean, it can be open source data that Mayor's one of my biggest heroes.
You hear this?
Yeah. Nice. I like how we're doing a John Mayer riff on the podcast. That's really.
Isn't that great?
So the D'Angelico sounds great.
Oh, by the way, yeah, D'Angelico.
Yeah, it's great.
Shout out, dude. I haven't like done a video. They sent me this guitar. Like, a rep had messaged me on Instagram.
Is it Justin?
I would have to check.
That's all good. That's cool. You know that riff though.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know that riff. No, it's cool. Dude. I don't know that riff.
Oh yeah, I can teach you in 2 seconds. But this, the DC Deluxe, dude, Rose Gold.
Oh, I love Rose Gold.
My favorite. But here, let me show you.
Roses.
I think you'll really appreciate this other one.
Come on.
Let me step away for a second.
Yeah.
This is your vibe. You're a Telecaster guy, right?
Oh, yeah, man, absolutely. It's just my favorite instrument. That's my favorite tool out of all tools. Whether it's a laptop, whether it's a vice grip. A Telecaster is just my favorite tool.
It's the vice grip of guitars.
God, it kind of is, right? Might not even be that complex. Oh, wow, we are finding a new guitar. I love that. That's great.
No, it's not new. It's old. I don't know where I put it.
That's interesting. Oh, you got you have a Mayer acoustic behind there.
It might. Is it? Because I was moving some stuff around. I don't know if I took that one out.
To lose a guitar, I've never lost a guitar.
It's a GNL like custom. Those
are cool.
Like relic. I forgot the guy. I got it at a guitar shop in Venice called Time Warp Music. It's like the coolest, weirdest, eclectic guitar store. I hope it's still there, but that's really bugging me now. I'm like, that's so weird. Like, it's not in one of the cases over there. Oh no.
That's all right. Life goes on. Isn't that funny? So many things we worry about sincerely do not fucking matter.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a cool guitar. I got it like randomly. I traded like a Lone Star Strat for it.
Lone Star, what a funny thing. That's funny. Lone Star beer is also not bad.
Dude, that's so funny you say that. I just started watching True Detective season 2, and I thought that was a fake beer, and I researched it, and it's a real thing. I'm gonna have to go find it.
Supremely real.
Yeah.
Now, buying it now might be a weird thing politically because it's from Texas, but everyone's weird about Texas right now.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure in LA it's pretty. I'm sure it's pretty. I actually don't know. I don't know how LA is.
Are we not supporting Texas now?
Well, Texas was just that they're just acting. Texas is Texas. Like.
Oh, dude, you want to know something crazy? Actually,
You're secretly from Texas?
No. I wish, dude. Honestly, Texas is an amazing state.
It's a great country. Yeah.
It's a great country. Right. Love that country. I was like reading this morning on, my girlfriend always watches like Snapchat news or whatever, or like sees.
Oh yeah.
Very resourceful.
Absolutely.
Very honest. Credible. It's what is it? It's this like college town or somewhere in Alabama. They're and this is no joke. I researched it up. It's a real thing that's happening. Is they're having a competition to see who can get coronavirus first, and whoever gets it first gets some sort of cash prize that they've all chipped in on.
What's the cash prize?
That's a real thing. I don't know the cash prize, but that's a real thing that's happening right now in the United States.
That's so stupid. I don't get why you could be alive in the most technologically advanced time in human history and be that stupid. Like, I just don't get how that happens.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, it's where does that decision making, like, how does that become a thing? Like,
I know.
How does that get introduced to the world, let alone to a community of people? And how does that even, it's just not our scene. It's just not our scene.
Dude, and that's a really neutral stance to take.
Yeah.
I applaud that. I really do.
I've gotten a lot better at like, the more older you get, the more you just realize that you just can't give a shit about things that it's so much more, and this is like, I'm not trying to be I'm such a, I'm so high and mighty.
No, these are speculations.
It's actually helped me so much in just music and everything, is just like not giving a shit about something and just saying, oh, that's just not my thing, man. Or, oh, that's just not my thing.
Stop apologizing for being yourself. Right?
Right. Exactly.
Like, isn't that the same shit? Like,
yeah, it's true.
That's not me. That's just not me.
Yeah. Well, instead of tearing other things down because of how you need to express like how that so isn't you, is rather just say, it's just not me.
Whoa.
Like, super like, like sometimes I can be really judgmental and look at something and look at what like an artist is doing that is just so not my thing, and I'm just like, what the fuck is that's not even but it's like that's not my interpretation of whatever it is they see that they want to put out in the world. My it's everything's subjective, music, art, and everything. I think the older I've gotten, the more I'm able to realize that, and it helps a lot.
The thing that I still struggle with, even though just because it's like a reflex, not because I haven't thought it through.
Absolutely. That's a very good way of putting it.
I have this weird reflex of comparing myself to others. Often.
Dude, if you don't, you're like, you're preaching the choir, man.
So I wanted to ask, like, is that, especially during quarantine, like there was a week there where like I couldn't even realize I was Daniel. I was just like 7 other people that I was comparing myself to before I was ever me.
I can't even. That speaks so much volume to what I go through and what many artists go through, especially now in the age of social media. And it's just like, it just kills the creator that's inside you. It really does.
Does it
And
really?
I
Yes,
have-
it does.
Yeah, and I have to actively try to silence that voice in my head, but it's really hard, and I fail at it most of the time. I find myself comparing to people online because it's like we've been in this age now for 7 years of having Instagram be a really like big, media platform for artists and be taken seriously, because for a while it wasn't taken seriously. It was just a fun thing to have, and now it's like you're swipe up in my story to get my name. Like it's very serious. But it's also so dangerous, dude. And that's the whole complex of our modern society of technologies. It's like there's so many things that are helpful and there's so many things that are dangerous. And it's really easy to fall into a trap of comparing yourself to other people. I do it all the time. I do it every day. I'm like, oh,
because you have like huge people like supporting what you do. Monstrous people supporting what you do. And it's like,
that too is really like
that has to fuck with your ego.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like, whoa, like why these people are posting about my music. These people, I've been on tour with these people. I've done these things, but it's like, how come, I'm not playing to, 14,000 people. I'm not playing to, these festivals. Oh, this dude got this festival. Like, oh, I didn't get it this year. Oh man, like, it's not my agent's fault at CAA. It's like, it's just how the world works. It's like, it's
WME. Oh no, we got to cancel the podcast. We got rivals. Oh no.
In the booking agency. No, I have the greatest agents in the world, but like I'm constantly just comparing. I'm like, oh, why didn't I get this? Why didn't I get this? I didn't get Bonnaroo. Oh, what? Like,
no one got Bonnaroo here.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
Well, I feel like we're hitting a social reset. Like, I hope we hit a reset, and it's like we don't go back to the way we were pre-quarantine. And it's like that's the only thing we can keep looking forward to as far as coming out of this is just like keep learning about ourselves now and then putting it forth into our music and our art in the future. Whenever it is we do get out of this, we'll be watching this in December and laughing and being like, let's do another one because we're still in this. But
I would love that.
We need to have a recap, right?
Yeah, we'll do a cosmic Christmas cast.
Yeah. So what's next for you? What are you working on right now? Are you what is your daily like I guess I hate that question. Like, what's your daily routine of music? But like, what's your?
That's great.
Yeah. What is your day? What are your days looking like as far as like what do you think to guitar playing and songs and artistry and everything?
100%. So it's like back in December, I recorded some music too. We did 2 days live in the studio with Robin Ford.
Man.
One of any guitar player loves Robin Ford.
I saw that, and I just was like, I was just extremely jealous, dude. That was insane.
Whoa!
So,
it was.
How did it feel?
Insane. Like
another question I was gonna ask you is like, who are some of your heroes that you've met and been able to like just shed with like?
With my heroes?
I'm sure you met a lot,
Robin.
Yeah.
Robin Bonamassa is one of my heroes, but mainly from like a business standpoint. I like how Bonamassa owns everything.
Right.
Like, he has no label. He only has him and his fans. So like when coronavirus is done, if his fans want to go, they'll be there.
Yeah, dude.
He doesn't have Live Nation taking 20% from him.
Dude, maybe he could he should have Vanilla Ice open up for him, dude, at the Vanilla Ice concert in Texas.
Today.
I could see that actually being a concert.
Well, I did Adrian Casada from Black Pumas. We did a podcast yesterday, and he's like, Vanilla Ice is playing here tomorrow. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, let's go.
Yeah, let's do a private flight down.
Yeah.
There'd be nothing better than right now for artists to take a private flight with all like the global warming bullshit that's happening.
Oh, isn't it great? I love that, dude. You see, oh my God. I don't want to get off this topic.
Yeah. So we did the record in so that was insane. That was really fun. It was really cool. Yeah. Gave me a lot of nice, I love humanizing my dream. So like I call it from mine to Spotify. So like it starts here. And then with a bunch of nail biting in between. Oh, it's here all of a sudden. And it's like, that's actually a magical thing that it goes from here back into here.
That's a crazy thing, man. That's
so from mine to Spotify, that happened. And so I figured out in the middle of all this how to defer a terrible record deal, because Robin was producing the record, but he didn't want to deal with like the business dealings of finding a home for the record. And so this company came in, they offered me a terrible deal. And I'm like, no. And I'm going to learn why this is happening.
Good for you, dude. Good for you.
So we're putting it out on Cosmic Country Music, independently.
Yeah, dude.
Which is going to be awesome. I'm really excited about that. So that's been like the mind endeavor of what I've been focusing on lately. But that's been done.
How are you releasing music? Like, what distribution platform are you using?
1RPM.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard. No, I
you would love them. They're great.
Before I was with Cobalt. Well, I was using the Orchard.
The Orchard, right through Cobalt, through your publishing.
Yeah, well, I was with the Orchard first, and now I'm with Cobalt.
Oh, cool.
But
I was with the Orchard too for my last couple of releases. They're great.
Oh, they're great. Yeah, I and before that, like before I even had anyone in my team, I was just using TuneCore to release music.
I think we're in a time now where the playing field's level and the market doesn't. It's not like the dude listening to your shit in Nebraska is like, well, he's on the Orchard.
Yeah,
it's like it's about the product. It's about the art. Like it feels like the art speaks for itself. It's like your art clearly speaks for itself.
Oh, thanks, man.
Good for you. TuneCore's dope though.
And you as well, man. Really, in a way that's just, I dig it so hard. It's so
likewise, man.
Yeah, you just are like you have your own individuality within being a guitar player that like I feel like so I'm just like, I think we both could speak on this for a minute, but like the Instagram, like how do you have your own individuality in like the Instagram guitar thing world? You know, it's like it's just so much of the same stuff. And this is not me hating on it, because there's so many like guitar players that there's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But there's been instances where I've like gone up to meet up with a guitar player on Instagram that I've like, you know, I've followed on Instagram for a while, and you meet them in real life, and it's like it doesn't translate to just like improvising and just like playing. And I think that like we've, as a, you know, guitar players now are looking at guitar players on their Instagrams, and they're like seeing this 1 minute thing, and they're like, they don't see the like 4,000 takes where they're like, oh no, I gotta get it perfect. I gotta get it perfect. I gotta get it perfect. And it's like you know, watching, it's just, I don't, you know what I mean? Like there's
so
no
hard. I know what you mean so well.
And it's just like, yeah, man. It's like,
dude, I did this event with Jam Card. You know Jam Card, where they do those dope circular events? We did one at NAMM. Biggest event at NAMM. They were turning people away. It was with Fender. Cool. So they were unveiling this new line of Fender guitars. And like everyone's there. Fender CEO is there. Their friend Ed McGee. It's like all the artists are there. It was like a big NAMM deal, which is like NAMM, right? But it's a big deal. It's like this big company is launching their guitars, and they're going to have artists, myself included, come help launch those guitars. This is like multi-million-dollar budget for advertising campaigns, and like there's a lot of money went into this. And so they had some artists come play that were Instagram famous. And dude, it does not translate.
It doesn't.
I've seen, and I won't name any of those people because that wouldn't do anything.
Oh, right, yeah.
They
but
did
I know
not
exactly
translate.
who they are. We know who they are. You know, you see them all the time, and it's like
their body language wasn't there. Like you could tell that animal has not been in that environment.
Yeah, it's a show, dude. It's just
a show, bro. That's why you can't take it. Like this past week, I lost $400 on Instagram.
Oh, really?
But like, I can't take it that seriously because it's just like in the long
just like not
life,
posting, or like just from.
I posted every day. I posted every other day actually. I just lost followers. I don't know why. And that's the thing is I don't even care to look into why. It's like I'm posting things that I know if I look back in 5 years, I'll be happy.
Right. I stopped I feel like the Instagram algorithm for like followers is just like gone off the roof now. It's just weird. I'll just get like random bots, you know, from
I bet they're like Justin Bieber bots though. I bet it's like from
a lot of Bieber bots. A lot of Bieber bots, dude. Love the Bieber bots. No, but I mean, it's back to the guitar thing. Like it's so it's interesting to see the world in which people are being inspired to learn guitar now, it's all coming from like, you know, YouTubers and YouTube guitar players and Instagram like oh, I'm an Instagram guitar player is a real thing. Like that's a like being a guitar player means so many different things now. And back then it was like, oh, what kind of guitar do you play? Like what do you play jazz? Do you play blues? Do you play everything? Do you play mainly this? But now it's like there's so many subdivisions of like, oh, I play like neo pop like for like 1 minute on Instagram, and then it loops, and then, you know, it's like, where can you just like sit down with people and start improvising and play and really like write a song or all this? And it's just I feel like I've been just so uninspired, and that's my own fault too, like not just because of like what's surrounding me now as like guitar players, but like I just I'm feeling like I found it way better to just go back to the things that inspired me in the first place when I was younger, and that really like lights another flame for me to start learning again. Is because just watching live concerts, watching live YouTube videos, like that for me is like the sickest. Like I love that more than just like someone with a ring light playing like something. It's just like no offense to ring lights, because dude, those are great.
You need them,
but
yeah.
We need it. But
that's fucking so true.
You know what I mean? Like just seeing something happen on someone's, like, you know, a lot of the videos that I grew up, you know, just like watching for hours and hours and hours were like YouTube videos of like someone's cell phone at a live concert, like watching, you know, someone play guitar at a concert and being like, oh, how do I do that? Or watching like old tapes. The first tape that ever inspired me to play guitar was a VHS of The Dance, Fleetwood Mac, that they recorded in Burbank. And Lindsey Buckingham was like he is and will be my favorite guitar player of all time.
Really? I didn't know that. That's so cool. Like the landslide solo.
Oh yeah. And I mean, just even his solo stuff too, like Seeds We Sow. And
I've never listened to anything solo Lindsey Buckingham.
He's awesome, dude.
What's the record like for a run today?
Check out Seeds We Sow.
Okay. What's it called again?
I think Seeds We Sow.
Oh, that's so heavy.
Dude, it is really heavy shit, man. It's really.
You know, his A&R guy was like, all right, Seeds We Sow.
Like, dude, yeah. Oh my God. He's like, Lindsey, dude, just trust me, dude.
Yeah.
No, because I think it's a song. It's a song off the record. Do you find
What's
it?
that weird guitar he was playing though?
I hope it's the thing. Oh, you know what that is? It's a Rick Turner Model 1.
Model 1 sounds cool.
Doesn't it? It's like that to me was like what made me want to play guitar. Is that like, can I see it? Can you put it closer?
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
The Rick Turner. And you can't get them. You just can't. Oh, no. That's the Ovation. Sorry. I'm pretty sure that's an Ovation, right?
Oh, is it really Innovation?
I think so. Like the pickup, it doesn't have a hole.
No, no hole.
But no. So this is the guitar I'm talking about that like inspired me to play guitar, and it's the weirdest guitar, and I don't think they're not obviously not made anymore, but I think they were made for him too. It's an acoustic electric.
Like the Acoustasonic, like the Fender Acoustasonic colors.
Oh, dude, yeah, but like no, but like way its own thing. Like it's one of these. I'll show you. They're beautiful guitars. I wish I had one. They're just like they're sold on Reverb. Shit, they're like
everything's on Reverb.
$4,000.
Everything. $4,000 is
a lot of money.
For a guitar.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of mid-level high. Like,
I just haven't bought a guitar in forever.
Dude, good for you. This guy, dude. These guys. See that?
Oh yeah, I know that guy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool though. Yeah, that's actually very cool.
Craziest sound, just using his fingers but yeah.
Right.
Seeds We Sow is like that guitar is so cool. It's a weird acoustic electric. How do you like the Telecasters? Because I see you play them all the time.
Dude, I love them. I just love innovation. Innovation's so inspiring.
Yeah, it is, dude. I agree.
You know, I think guitar players naturally are not innovative creatures in the sense we don't like to see things being pushed forward. But it's very ironic because it's like our biggest heroes, like Hendrix would know how to use Ableton if he were still alive today.
Oh, absolutely. That's such an interesting conversation. Yeah.
He would know all of the plugins. He would know how to work native instruments. He would know how to do it. Because that's what he was at his core. And
you definitely have you definitely have Contact 12. silver edition, dude.
Model 1.
The ultimate suite.
The ultimate. Do you hear about this?
I got it. I love it.
Hendrix was 27.
Yeah.
We are 25.
Yeah. I know. It's like, geez, I gotta start playing guitar.
It's like, can you like, dude, like he was Hendrix when he was our age.
Yeah. Well,
like that's the thing that's scary me.
Even before that, like when he was
That's
like
what I'm saying.
19 over in London, just playing. I think it's because I'm from Washington. I'm from Vancouver, Washington, which is like a suburb of Portland, basically. It's right on the border. And him, you know, being from Seattle, I think is so dope. A lot of great just rockers, Kurt Cobain, like some of my favorite music. Nirvana's. I mean, Kurt's just one of my all-time, like just, yeah, I can't even. There's nothing to say because it's just so heavy. I
didn't know Kurt was that big of an influence on you.
Yeah, especially recently, like later as I've developed, you know, more of my, you know, finding out who I am as an artist. Like it really, I mean, I listened to Nirvana growing up. Everyone did. Everyone listened to Nirvana.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I really actually started uncovering who he was as a person and like as an artist a couple of years ago, and reading a lot of his books, his biography, and biography, and just diving into his life is like really hard to do, but it's really intense. And it's just talk about someone who just like lived so intentionally, like as an artist, like he just like,
I love intentional living. Like that's something I've been thinking heavy about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just, he was so in tune with himself, but also so out of tune with himself at the same time. And just like, didn't care, really didn't. Just wanted to do cool shit. Just wanted to make good music. And he's so nonchalant about, you know, making money and all that stuff. But like, you know, deep down, you know, that's like, you know, people care about that as much as like you try to deny like, oh, I want success. Like it's something that you try to get without having to think about getting it. But I think that's why their music is so amazing. Obviously, you know, Chris Novoselic and Dave Grohl really made it work as well.
Oh my God, man.
That's a conversation too that I've always like thought is like, what would happen if like Kurt just had a solo career and never met Dave and Chris? Like,
my God, dude. Oh my God.
You know?
Oh my God. There's no way.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's no way.
Crazy. Like that weird, it would be like a weird solo thing. But
if he would have lived, it definitely would have turned into some solo acoustic tours.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It probably wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think about that all the time. What if Hendrix was still alive?
Yeah. Well.
What would that tour look like?
What if, man? I know, right? It's so easy to think, to try to actualize those things, but it's just, you know, at the end of the day, it's also
not the thing to do.
Yeah. Right. But then that, you know, you use that to inspire yourself to, like you said, move things forward. Because you can't, if you just are stuck in if we're doing the same thing over and over and over and over, there's no innovation. You know, innovation now seems weird because it's weird. Like, you know, Dylan going electric at the time, people were like, you know, boot him off stage. Like, oh, this is so stupid. Why are you doing this? Like, this is like, it's like, it's another example of someone innovating something that like ended up being like, you know, unreal. Like Jimi Hendrix covered his music because of that, you know, and him playing Clapton and doing all that shit is like, it's important. But then it's hard now to be like, how do we innovate it without getting too like techie? Because all the innovation, like we're moving forward as like a technological, you know, society. So how do we, back then it was like, yeah, it's so weird.
I know, man. Now it's like, it seems like the concept of having to innovate now, not having to innovate, it's just doing innovation.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, it's harder than just like simply plugging in a Telecaster and like just playing your songs electric. But that's pretty innovative, but it also just could have been like.
Yeah, they had it easy, man. Like, how do you, like, there's so, like I said, there's so many subcategories, subdivisions, like just subgenres that just exist, you know, now. That's like, where do we push it forward? Or is it something that resurges back to like nothing? You know, back to like something that's like, you have the 80s and you have, you know, disco, and then like in 1 year you have Nirvana and Elliott Smith, you know.
My God, man.
Just like,
Does that happen?
you know what I mean? It's like you have like the 80s, you have Michael Jackson and the reign of like pop music, and like how disco pop blended into like Elliott Smith in a white tux at the Grammys, like whatever, like doing a solo acoustic song. Like it's insane.
I think that's why Sturgill Simpson's one of my heroes.
Everything goes in a circle.
Do you think, have you heard
I've
that
never
concept?
dived into Sturgill.
There's a great concept too that's real, where it was like ethnic culture every 7 years goes from punk to psychedelic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Punk to psychedelic. And it's like,
Yeah, it's true.
it kind of is that way. And I feel like we're entering that psych phase.
Yeah.
Where everyone's like, we're all like, the vibes are like, everyone's merch line is tie-dye.
Right.
Everyone's talking about ayahuasca.
It's a circle, but it's a circle that moves up. So it's like a spiral. Like the next level of what that was before is just on another spectrum,
Always.
you know, and then again on another spectrum. It's like, you know, going up a spiral staircase. You're still going up. It's just, you know, coming back to the same point. You're just a little bit higher, and it sounds a little bit different. And there's more, whatever, plugins or more new things. Or it's like, what do you feel about? How do you feel about Kemper?
I think it's cool. Like I'm for all of those things.
Yeah.
I think it's cool if you know how to work the tools, like the analog tools.
You have one, or are you just always doing amps?
I'm doing an amp that's right now. I'm doing a Fender Tone Master, which is like into a Kemper, where it's like you plug an XLR into the back of it.
Cool.
And that runs into my rig here, but it also has the ability to be an analog amp simultaneously.
Okay, cool, nice.
Fucking.
So is there imaging then, or no?
Yeah, it's a profile.
Nice.
So it has 2 profiles on it, which sounds
like,
really insane.
Yeah, it's like it's because I feel like when the Kempers came out, there was such a like surge of like guitar players like looking around at each other, being like, how do we feel about this? This is so stupid. No, but it's like, dude, you're like, why are you carrying 100-pound amp to like 50? Like, just put it in a fucking Pelican case and you're good. Like,
do you use one? You fuck with a Kemper?
I wish, dude. I don't have one actually, but all my friends do.
Yeah, that's the LA thing, is the Kemper.
Yeah, it is, right? I would love to get one, dude. I literally like don't have money to get one right now.
Money is a hard thing sometimes. Money is hard.
It's a weird thing. Dude, the weirdest thing happened.
You made $1 million.
No, but I didn't not make $1 million. It was I got a letter in the mail. It said like to whatever our address, resident. And I was like feeling it, and there's like this like hard thing in this envelope. And I was like, I got to bring this up in the podcast because this is like just way too weird. And maybe someone else had this experience. It was a letter from Harvard, like, you know, Pennsylvania, whatever the address, or that's where Harvard is. I feel like. I
believe Harvard's in Massachusetts, is it not?
Yeah. And it said whatever the town was, and it said, to resident, and it had like $1.25 in it. Like an actual dollar and a 20, quarter, and a letter that was like this formal letter. It was like NPR and Harvard, or we're two resident, like talking about like we are wanting your personal, how have you been personally affected by COVID-19, and we're doing a survey or whatever. Sponsored Harvard. But I dude, at first I was like, dude, is this like is someone like sending out like contaminated like dollar bills to people and like acting like it's like, it was the weirdest thing. It's like, when have you ever got in the mail like this is the weirdest thing to get as a letter? It's just like there's $1.25 and it says here's a little bit of it's like here's a little bit for your cooperation. And
$1.25, like what?
Yeah, like it's like 20. Was that what you think 20%, the 20 minutes of my time is worth? Like,
what am I going to buy? Extra caramel on a frappuccino?
Yeah, half a Gatorade, dude.
Half a guac? Half a guacamole.
Maybe like a quarter even.
Yeah, they don't know inflation. Maybe that was
I live in Los Angeles, dude. It's hard to come by here. Demand.
It's I think it's your pool guy fucking with you.
Yeah, I might be, dude. It's probably like some like cyanide on it or something.
Some chlorine.
It's so weird. And it said like fill out this survey and get like the rest. It was like $10 or whatever. It's just like, this is the weirdest thing, dude. I gotta see anyone else. So if anyone else out there got this survey to their home, please let me know, because I'm like, I could be infected. Like I
yeah. And like, what the fuck? Like that's some state school nonsense. Not Harvard. You think Harvard
No,
at least send an
they're-
Amazon gift card?
they're
Here's a
private.
$25 Amazon gift card.
Yeah, dude, come on. Yeah, at least an Amazon gift card.
Damn.
Your
So
time.
you said you did not make $1 million. Have you actually made $1 million playing music?
Oh no, I just meant like I made $1.25.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like
I made a fraction of $1 million.
a fraction. That's great.
Yeah,
I
fraction.
I'm trying to meet someone like I'm trying to conceptualize. Like, sure, there's some people our age who make $1 million.
Dude, if are you trying to meet someone who's made $1 million? If I had made $1 million by now, I wouldn't be doing my own pool, dude.
Fuck no, you wouldn't be doing your own pool. You would have had that pool got murdered.
I wouldn't be balancing my pool. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. I would be. I definitely would be.
Okay, so it made you would have been one of those. You'd be.
I mean,
would you be influencer guy? Like, gotta work hard.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
clean my own pool. I
yeah,
just
dude.
bought some stock. You'd be like Ty Lopez, of pool clean.
Yeah, dude. Exactly. I got 15 pools. No, I have a weird relationship with money. I'm like my money. I'm independent. Artist, and it's so funny because so many people who follow me, especially my friends from back home, and people are like, "Oh, dude, you have like so many followers, and you must be making so much money." And it's like,
This is a great topic.
no, like I'm not. I'm actually like,
Insanity.
I literally have like no money right now, especially like a lot of people with this pandemic. But even without that, people just like have this instant like they assume since I've like socialized with some of these people who are worth millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars that I'm instantly just like someone who's just rich. Or I make music and I'm a musician and I do that full time, so I must be like making a killing. It's like, dude, you make more. I promise, like whatever blank, you make more money at your job than I do. Like I promise.
Well, what's really fucked up about that?
I'd count it tomorrow, dude, if I had the skills right now. I would love to make the salary an accountant would make right now.
doesn't that
Don't
freak
do
you out a little? Where it's like, man, we put so much into like ourselves, and we don't leave our job, like, or at the workplace. Like our job is with us 24/7. You're thinking about
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's with you when you go to bed. It's with you when you wake up. It's like there is no clock in. But like also, it's just how you treat it. Because I feel like a lot of songwriters, especially in Nashville, dude, I feel like Nashville is the epicenter of, songwriting being like a 9-to-5 job, or more 10 to 2.
certain kinds of songs.
Although it is getting like the Nashville music that comes out of Nashville, is just some of my favorite music. But also, it's just there's so many different things.
I feel like parts of Nashville is like that 13-year-old that's mad at their parents. And they're just like, they're wearing, like, your parents like, what the fuck are you wearing? You're going to wear that out of the house? Why are you acting?
I love
feel like
that.
It's like, why are you wearing Wrangler jeans with Yeezys? Like, what are you?
Okay, I follow what you're saying now.
Like, you're just so ironic that,
Yeah.
and you're not, you
Not our
don't know you're ironic.
It's not our thing. I mean, it may not even be a thing, but it's not our thing.
I'm all for it.
I wish I had a pair of Yeezys, dude. I wish I did.
I would buy.
And people have asked me to
Yeezys.
get them a pair too. They're like, oh, dude, like this person that knows this, like, can I get some Yeezys? I'm like, dude, I'm wearing fucking Danner boots, bro. Like,
Dude, I love those. I fuck with those heavy.
dude, these check these out. The Portland Timbers, actually.
Oh, see, Portland. I love the ACGs. You probably like ACG at all?
With what?
Nike ACG?
No, I don't know.
It's like Nike's outdoor line.
Oh no, I haven't checked it out.
Oh, damn.
I haven't.
It's a
I have
lot
like the same running shoes of for like 4 years.
I was telling my sister the other day, it's like, I've had this since like these shoes since like before my voice dropped.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. Oh, I probably have gotten rid of I probably I went through puberty super early, so.
Damn, that's why I stopped wrestling. That's what got me into guitar.
I still feel like I'm still going through it sometimes. My voice cracks all the time, especially when I'm nervous.
Does your voice crack when you're singing?
Oh yeah, all the time. It actually cracked at dude. I think that's where it happened.
I think I remember you mentioning that to me. I was like, I think we talked about that, and it was like,
yeah.
You're aware of how to use the larynx and how to make sure that it doesn't go up and that it does the right thing. But it's like, It's funny how I feel like the voice is not like guitar in that way, where you literally can control the volume. Not like that.
Yeah.
It's for me.
Yeah, I feel like a voice crack is like you're clipping, you know? It's like your voice clipping.
That's,
You know what I mean?
do you
But
feel like
it happens all the time, man. Like, especially if I don't warm up or I'm not like really taking my vocal thing seriously. But once I have a couple shows on the road, then everything's dialed.
are you like maintaining your athleticism as a musician during this time? Like, are you doing warm ups and things like that, or
No, dude, no. Which
I
is
feel like
really,
that's normal then.
I wish I should be.
I don't know about all these
I
should be things though.
I did I was doing I was doing a, what is it? How many live things have we done that I'm like, I have to like go back and see, filter through all the like live sessions, online things that I've done. But the most recent one I did, and my manager sent it back to me. He's like, dude, you got to warm up your voice before you do these. He's like, can you please recut this? And it's just like, oh, my God,
Your man, that's so funny.
Dude. But my manager, my day-to-day manager, Jordy, is like one of my best friends. We're also just like really close. To my AC in my studio is really just pissing me off. It's been, and that's one of the reasons why my voice is so bad, is because it's not going to work.
It's too cold.
No, hot. It's like, I live in the valley, so it's like 90 degrees all the time.
Is it warm better? Is it warm better? Like, I hear my friends used to work like AV jobs. They would like set up arenas.
Yeah.
Like when Adele came to Bridgestone, it was like 82 degrees in the arena the whole day.
And she loved it?
That was per her demand.
That's sick. Well, I mean, I wish I was Adele, Adele, Corey Harper, it's a big, she's up here, by the way.
Here's one thing, dude, that I want to run. What's on?
Oh, I said, I think I have a lot less like room to work with vocally than her. I feel like I can get.
That's like a thing that like I wanted to ask you about. Like, I'm very much like, my voice is the thing I'm least comfortable with in part of me being a musician. Like,
yeah.
And it's like, I'm just the least confident with my voice. And it's one of the only things in my life where like I don't have like a natural stand up with my shoulders straight confidence with, which I've always had. Since before I remember like being a person. Like, people tell me I've just always had. Like, I can talk to people, I can get confident. But something about vocals. Was that it for you, or did you have that same experience, or were you just kind of like good at singing?
Just kind of what?
Were you kind of just good at singing when you tried to sing?
No, not at all, dude. I mean, I could sing like the first ever songs I ever recorded when I was like 16, and you like, oh my gosh. So my brother was like the singer. My brother and my sister both sang, and my brother is an amazing singer. He was like traditionally just perfect singer. Like, he did a lot of like opera singing and musical theater and real. And like, I hate when people say, oh, someone has so much talent, because you can have talent, but if you don't work hard, it's nothing, meaningless. But he worked really hard at his voice for so long and was like really classically trained and everything. And he just had this like just booming fucking amazing voice. Still does. As much, he doesn't practice it as much now, but yeah, he was always like kind of overshadowed. Like, that's why I didn't really like become a singer until, or really even like just found myself as an artist until I was older, is because he was always like the artist, from like a young, he's like obviously as well as being just a freak genius, like one of the smartest people I've ever met, and just intellectually and just in all senses of what it means to be a genius.
Wow.
But I was just like really intimidated to like start singing, because that was like his thing.
Wow.
I just started loving singing, and
wow.
I grew up. I just started like listening. It wasn't until I started hearing, getting really diving into Marin, listening.
Was it Mayer? That's amazing, man.
Yeah, that, and like, well, at the time too, like Ed Sheeran and listening to like Alan Stone and like all these people that I really got into, like, I mean, very eclectic version, like people, voices.
So different, right? Because I feel like Ed Sheeran's like the least singer out of all those dudes.
Oh, no, dude. He's like, his vocals are incredible, I feel. Yeah, he's like, I feel like his vocals are just unbelievable, even though he has like such a distinct voice.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like Alan Stone like outsings anyone. Oh,
right. Yeah, of course. Right. But these were the people that I like at the time were listening to a lot and getting really into. Yeah, I never really had like a I would always just play guitar, like I said. And then I wanted to write songs because I loved writing. And I wrote a lot of like poetry in middle school and like loved writing stuff. And I wrote lyrics all the time, but I was like, never had anyone to sing it. So I just started singing in my car on my way to work. I used to work at Timberline Lodge in Oregon, on Mount Hood.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a ski resort. It's like an hour away from my house. And I would sing in my car all the way to work and all the way back, like for just a year, and just sing every day and sing songs that I liked and sing songs that I listened to, and just really like without judging myself. I was just like, I'm going to find my voice and start singing like, you know, these songs that I like, that people sing like. And then, like I said, it's just copying something away until I was able to have my own style with it. And yeah, I mean, I grew up singing a lot, like as a kid, and loved music, and since I was, you know, really young, but I never really intentionally was like, I want to like write songs and sing them for myself. And I still am like, my voice is the most, definitely, you know, my most vulnerable point for me. So I think it's like,
Wow.
I think it's, and guitar playing too, especially now that I've like haven't practiced, but, I mean, I think the best thing that helped me is just having to realize that, like, you know, to find your voice that works for you, and to find a voice that works for you, or that like describes you as a singer, or to have that, you know, finding your voice is you're never gonna like find it and be like, oh, this is how I'm gonna sing forever. Like, it's always changing. I feel that's just for me, for like, depending on what music I listen to. Like, I have certain ways that I sing that are different, that emulate all the kind of music that I like. But I think it just took me doing it all the time, every day, especially when I was building the basis of, you know, my vocal cords and vocals. I just had to do it all the time, and just know that it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be a journey. Like, I'm still taking vocal lessons, and I still am learning about singing, and it's just like a lifelong thing you are gonna have to commit to.
Wow. Are you doing lessons still during this time?
I haven't during this time, but every time before I go out on tour and stuff. And I've learned a lot from lessons to like do myself, but
Right, that is that thing. You learn how to do it. Yeah.
but you just find your own voice, and, you know, it's like a lot of and I would say I have a distinct voice. I don't have like a normal traditional singing voice, but I learned how to do all these things, like, you know, doing runs, and, you know, from listening to like Alan Stone, and like grew up in a lot of like gospel music, loving gospel music, like that sort of singing. Like the way I sing, like, which is what like all music derives from, but like comes from like black music, black singers, and a lot of pop music, all pop music, any pop song now, you hear a singer that's like, you know, it's all comes from, you know, gospel music, and from so long ago. And like,
My God.
like so I've modeled my voices off of like other black voices, and just like having a lot of trying to, whatever sort of soul I can muster in my voice, you know, is just emulating that. And yeah, I don't know. I've just listened to a lot of music and tried to emulate it as much as I can in my own thing. And like I said, failing at trying to be that is what you come up with, is what makes it your own. So
That's so beautiful. That's great, man. I feel like everyone who hears that's going to be inspired by the fact it's just a human learning something.
yeah, I mean, I hope so. That's the goal, I guess, is to inspire people to, because so many people, like I thought I would never be a singer. I was like, I'm never going to be good at singing. And I just had to do it all the time until it just finally started sounding, you know, decent in my head. And from there you go, make decent sound good, make good sound great, and keep it up. You know, it's like a muscle. Like we said, you don't do it for a long time, it's going to go away.
Dude, the muscle thing is real. That's a real thing.
What about you? When did you start singing?
I started singing when I was 19. So
Okay.
I'd already
Yep.
been playing for years. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm still like, I don't know what it is with me, but I still have definitely a much longer way to go. Your voice is just so beautiful. Just sincerely, truly. But
Thanks, man.
I started singing when someone showed up. I got hired to play a gig. I needed a gig. I just got fired from my normal gig I had at place called Roberts. And I needed to pay my rent. So I picked up a cover gig. And they didn't show up. And so I started singing. And I loved it.
Oh, I love that, dude. You have all these cool stories of how you like came to play guitar and sing, and I just am like, I wanted to. Yeah, you have way cooler stories than I do.
No, not at all, dude.
That's the thing, man. That's awesome.
It's cool, and then just like that's how my whole life has been trial by fire.
Yep.
Trial by fire.
Yeah, I honestly I agree as well as mine. I can say the same.
I think it's the only way to learn something is to have to be forced to be put in a situation to where whatever you've been memorizing, you have no time but to just steep it up and understand it in your bones.
That's amazing. And that's exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like the Instagram guitar thing. It's like, it's that moment of like when something fails and like you don't have like that perfect take to, you know, go off of is when like you are like a master improviser because you've played thousands and thousands of shows. Like you literally know how you can, there's nothing that can throw you off because you've had that happen to you before. But like people who develop themselves online as like all these perfect videos and everything, and like the age of now that we're learning guitar is like this perfect thing we're seeing is like, it's just not a reality. Like, you know, and especially, you know, guitar players, well, I'm trying to think of how to word this. Like people who become famous really quickly and really fast now in the age. And if you do play an instrument, like what happens when you like break a string or your guitar pedal goes out or like something goes wrong? It's like in that moment, are you going to be able to be like, oh, okay, I know what to do here. I'm going to, you know,
no way
do that. Yeah, no way. But like the people who've had the gigs of like, you know, I can't even say as much as like what you've gone through is just like playing thousands of shows. Like how many shows have you played in your lifetime? You think like
over 2,000?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's insane.
A lot of them were terrible.
Well, no, but that's where you develop. That's where you develop everything. Like it all comes from, and that's the whole point of like, I feel like what we've been talking about. It all comes from, you know, the work that you put into your craft, and all the layers underneath that like no one's ever gonna see that like really start to pay off and really become who you are as an artist. And that's what makes you, is like all the unheard mistakes, all the, you know, shows that went bad and people didn't show up with, and all of that becomes who you are as an artist because it's just ingrained in you and you're ready for whatever comes your way next.
Whoa, man.
That's crazy.
That's beautiful.
Oh, well, it's the honest truth. It's real. You get it. You understand it.
Yeah, I think I understand now that whatever hours I put in, no one can take those away from me. And then two, those hours pay off. And they don't pay off when you tell them to, but when you need them to. Exactly.
And when you're, you know, those hours you are putting in, you're like, this sucks and I'm sounding terrible, or this is, you know, I'm not sounding how I want to sound, but like that eventually leads up to, you know, how you do want to sound.
That's the thing too, where it's like, that's the thing this quarantine has taught me, where it's like, I'm different. That's why I love social media. Because social media to me is a show. Like it's a stage where I get to say, here's my personality. Here's what I do.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's only that. It doesn't need to be everything else. It doesn't need to be this political platform where you share your anger or you share your discontent for other, your contempt for other people. It could be would you honestly, would you go on a stage and say, you know, fuck this, fuck that? No, like if there were a room full of people, you would want to make them all happy. And like that's why I call myself like a serotonin dealer.
Serotonin dealer.
It's like, if you look at my page, that's all I want people to have. It's just limited serotonin in the midst of all of this bullshit.
Yeah.
And like people like Allbirds trying to sell you shoes for $75. And it's like,
I love that.
You know,
it's I feel like I look at kind of, you know, especially in the age we are right now and like in the time we are right now and like what's going on in the world, like I feel like everyone has a place in how they contribute to change. And what you see on social media is a lot of people trying to it's a lot of people in a similar trajectory of what they want to say, what they want to get across, and a lot of the times it just becomes so overcrowded in one way of this one job of like a bigger spectrum of a job, like everyone has their individual parts that need to play. And a lot of the times you see a lot of people just like finding one, vessel and using that. But like a lot of the times it's like a business. Everyone has their place. And like a lot of what I've been doing is just like taking time to like listen and learn and really like finding where my voice will make the most impact. And so for you, you're like the most impact I can make is making people happy, but also maybe on doing your part aside from your Instagram and not just like, showing, oh, look how much I know about like social injustice and all this. And like, oh, I'm like going to post this story for the 400th time that I've seen on my feed, it's like, which is important though, because there are those people we need people to, speak out. And like now, like social media has become a form of communication, whether we like it or not. So that's how we communicate with the world.
Of course.
But everyone has their place. And I think as a musician, me personally, I have been trying to find where my voice, matters most and will impact the most people. And I'm still figuring that out. And it's going to be, and it's just a lifelong commitment, to, learning how to communicate in a way that's not going to divide people, but like bring people into a conversation. Cause that's literally the whole point of life is relationships with other people and not just, dividing people so that you have, oh, this group thinks this way, this group thinks that way. Cause there's never going to be, a place where change can happen. But,
it freaks me out when people say like, when I say something, like there's like, even people within my own family, and they're like, what you said was too neutral. And I'm like, too neutral? So you're saying what I'm saying is too Socratic, like it's too much encompassing of a group conversation. So everything I should say should just either make one person delighted and the other person pissed off. That's not going to help. That's not going to scale any positive change.
Yeah.
That's not going to work at all. It's like, you're totally right. And realizing your place, realizing why people subscribe to you. Like if somebody subscribes to you, like you're providing them a promise that you're going to bring a certain thing to them.
Yeah.
Like that's a real thing. Like it's an unspoken agreement, but it's like, I take it very seriously. It seems as you do. Like I don't want to break that promise. And so like, I think the unthoughtful thing to do is to just act emotionally and not really think about what you're saying. But maybe the thoughtful thing to do is to think about what you would say and then think about what do people perceive of me and what's my functionality in their life, where I have Cosmic Country and all the stuff I do, the podcasts, etc. How do I make change that way? Like through those meetings. Like today, before our conversation, I was able to talk to my friend Scott Carly, who was a police officer for 20 years.
Yeah, wow.
And it's like, dude, we talked about like legitimate life things that happen to a police officer. Like that's a great way to like have a dialogue about defunding the police. And
yeah, that's exactly right. Is like I've had to have like super uncomfortable conversations, especially approaching all of the things with these protests and everything going on. Like it's just you have to just posting a picture on Instagram and saying something is never gonna make the change. You have to like
there's no action.
You have to take action and have conversations that you don't want to have. But
damn,
like I said, like I think in a way being neutral is still like hurting the voices that typically aren't heard in a general sense. So instead of just saying like, instead of being neutral, it's better to say like, how can my voice, without hurting other people, be contributive or contribute to the agenda of what needs to happen.
How does that pan out for you, do you think, on your own personal experience?
Like I said, just taking a moment to figure out where I stand or not even stand, because it's like, it's such an obvious standpoint,
I know, dude. But it's also becoming increasingly less obvious, because are you also saying that, because surely you don't stand for people going on Melrose and stealing all of the Travis Scott Jordan 1s. Like, there's no point in doing that. That's not going to help anyone.
Yeah, but it also is really tough for, two white guys to say, oh, that's, to to look at that happening and start to instantly, like, even people, I hate that the media and everything like covers that. That's going to be the first thing that anyone's going to cover and anyone's going to talk about. And I don't even want to give that even attention, because it's like,
it's activism. It's not news.
Yeah. And I have no idea, like, the pain and sorrow and the frustration that the Black community has right now. And like talking about, oh, well, you know, I hate when people, obviously you have a point in saying that's not the right thing to do, but like, it's not okay to talk about that and say, oh, well, how, you know, do you think that doesn't justify what's happening, you know, to community at all. It's like that doesn't, you can't use that to justify what the police are doing, you know, and what is happening to the Black community and Black and brown community, because that's obviously the biggest scapegoat for like any, you know, someone who has the, you know, other side of the argument. It's like, oh, well, they're, you know, looting and rioting and all this stuff. And I saw it firsthand. Like I was on Melrose watching it all happen.
So that's great. You saw it happen.
Oh, I saw people running into stores and stealing and doing that. And I was just like, and at first I was just like, it's like, what is going on? But it's like, you know, a lot of people, you hear, you know, I see a lot of quotes like from people quoting, you know, rioting is the voice of the unheard. And it is true. But even, I think talking about it just like doesn't get anybody anywhere. And
yeah, it's real.
Like you said, where I stand, I think it's best to figure out like where your voice can make the biggest impact. And before just word vomit and saying all these slogans and saying everything and saying all this stuff, which is also important because it shows solidarity and it shows your commitment to you know, a community, and it shows that you're supporting an agenda that needs to happen. And before, I think like it's just like really important to have a basis knowledge of what's going on before just like saying something, because it's really easy. Like we live in an immediate world where we can convey what we want to say by posting something. But
we're kind of told to say.
Yeah, exactly. But for me, man, it just takes like having conversations with my friends that are Black and my friends that have grown up like and having so much more, you know, having like being oppressed and being in situations where they've been stereotyped and had like these situations with police officers and being like, oh, well, but I know this police officer who's really nice, but they're like, well, no. I've like, you know, I'm not discrediting that your friend is a great police officer. Like this is what I've grown up with my whole life dealing with every day, all the time. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's just, I think the best thing that like I can do is listen, and we can do is just listen and find out where a voice makes the most impact. But also still, you know, showing solidarity. And it's a fuzzy, it's a really crazy time. And it's hard to make your actions that you do in real life, you know, look great on Instagram or social media and all that stuff, because it's like people look at a media outlet all differently. It's like very subjective. People look at, you know, it's just, yeah, it's crazy, man. It
really is like legitimately crazy. We're the first era of humans who can deal with this connectivity.
Yeah.
Here's something I just found the other day, is that there's 4.5 billion people on the earth who don't have it. 3.5 billion.
Yeah. That's, wow. 3.5 billion don't have internet?
4.5.
4.5 billion. So that's the majority of the population. Yeah.
So we are even going to get bigger. It's going to get more.
Yeah.
The world's going to exponentially grow. And so it's like, it's crazy. I've never seen civil rights riots happen from one case in the United States that go from France, go to Germany. It's like, it's everywhere in the entire world. It's like, it's kind of a beautiful thing to see the human race now stand up. I don't know. Yeah, it's a global thing. And like, it's not even that like more of this injustice is happening. It's just like more of it is being filmed, you know, because of media, like more of it. It's like Will Smith. I think Will Smith said that. He said, it's not that more of it is happening. It's like, this has always happened. It's just a lot of it's just being filmed. And, you know, I love him, dude. And it's just, this has been going on forever. This is just like, we're just all now seeing this because we've been in the last 7 years of being all tuned into one basically form of media, which is like Instagram, social media, Twitter, you know, all Facebook, everything. Like we're just seeing it more often. And so it's a, you know, resurgence of how to
stand up against it rather than, it's like, imagine having Instagram during like the civil rights movement, like, and during like Jim Crow, and like, it's crazy, man. It's a really crazy thing to think about. Like like you said, Jimi Hendrix having plugins, like
it really is that, he has
dude. Yeah, dude.
Wow, dude, this was dope. I love it.
Yeah, man. I
feel like you and I we have more episodes than somewhere down the road.
I would love that. There's like so many tangents we went off that we need to finish probably. So
that's why podcasting it's just like the Grateful Dead in that way.
Yeah, dude, it's jamming. It's jamming. That's, I love that. I love because I always say, like, my friends that aren't musicians, like people that are just such a good hang, it's like they're jamming, like you're not a musician, but you jam.
I know, you're letting the results take care of themselves. You're being present.
Yeah,
that's the one. Well, do you actually got to go clean your pool?
I gotta go, dude. I already I threw the vacuum in. I gotta take it out.
Your girlfriend called you 2 hours ago. She's like, "Damn it, Corey, the pool is filthy."
Oh, it's clean, dude. It's pristine.
Oh.
Getting it ready. Just doing the last bit of brushing.
Bonsai.
Yeah, I threw the what's his name? I have a name for the vacuum.
I low-key used to be so scared of that.
Really?
I wouldn't go in.
Yeah, they're weird, dude. They follow you. They follow you around.
Whoa. All right, dude.
Thanks for having me on, Daniel. It's such a nice conversation to have. Talk to you.
Yeah, man. I'm glad we can hang.
We covered like so many things, so many interesting topics.
I loved it. I'm very excited for the next one, dude.
Me too, dude.
All right, my man. Well, hey, enjoy your 4th of July and all that good stuff.
Yeah, let's do another one of these, man.
Peace out, my man.
Be safe, brother. Later.
Mr. Corey Harper, he is the man. Thank y'all so much for listening. Go indeed check him out on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Google Play just got canceled. Don't go check him out on Google Play because you will not find anything. Instagram, TikTok. He is the man. I really respect him, and I really wish him all the success that the universe holds for him. What are we listening to today? So we are listening to right now, since YouTube has been taking down all the videos for the podcast. I'm just doing some royalty-free ragtime dinner music, and then we were listening to some royalty-free lo-fi type beat music. So I'm gonna wait until some of my music creating friends in town can give me some Cosmic Country tracks that we can play during the Cosmic Country podcast. But as usual, we have the Grateful Dead starting us off. We had a really crazy version of Sugar Magnolia, 6/20/1984. Really fast. I'm assuming it was the cocaine years. I've never done cocaine, but I'm assuming if I did, I'd be playing Sugar Magnolia at that speed. Y'all go indeed. We just passed 300,000 streams on The Young Man's Country, the first Cosmic Country album. Yes. Literally insane. Thank you guys so much. We're placed on some of Spotify's biggest editorial playlists. Means the world. If y'all dig the podcast, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. Leave a comment talking about how you honestly feel about me. You might not like me as a person, and so let me know by leaving a comment in this section. You might love me as a person, and so let me know by leaving a comment in the section. And odds are you don't feel like leaving a comment, and that is fine. Why not be ironic and just go ahead and say, hey, I don't feel like leaving a comment, while typing that out as a comment? That would be ironic and funny, and that'll be a good way to spend 15 seconds of your time. I thank you guys so much for listening to this. Subscribe to Cosmic Country by joining the Cosmic Country Club on DanielDonato.com, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm not on LinkedIn yet. Probably won't ever be. Love y'all. Thank you so much. Stay positive, stay persistent, stay patient, stay cosmic.